Welcome to another episode of the Low Life's Recovery Channel. Once again, I'm Low Life Buck, and today we're here with a close personal friend of the club and a man who has overcome great adversity to be the man that you see here today.
Well, thanks, dude. My name's Hans Vrooman. We go back a few years. I guess I'm gonna tell a little bit of my story today. So, like I said, my name's Hans Vrooman. I'm from Helena, Montana. Got a few felony charges, mostly felony DUIs. I think I have 3 or 4 of those felonies, 3 or 4 felony DUIs. Possession of dangerous drugs. Accountability to distribution. And I think that's it. I may have one more tucked in there, but it's been a minute. So, yeah.
Okay. And how much clean time do you have?
So I got I've been out of treatment for the last 5 years, going on my 6th year right now, being out of treatment. So, and I had one slip up in midst of that. I had just something that I never could have expected. It was like I was good to go. Never thought I was ever going to drink or use or do anything again. I thought nothing could faze me, and then I had a son pass away, and that fazed me. So that fazed me, and it didn't. It's not like I just went off the deep end after that, but I started having a couple drinks after work. Nothing crazy. I had my little guidelines that I gave myself, like, I'm just going to have 2 double vodka sodas, call it good, never go past that. And I did that for quite a while. And I did it for long enough where I convinced myself that I did not have a problem, that I did not have an issue anymore with it. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. So I'm going on a year now back on the wagon. So
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Every day counts.
yeah, absolutely.
We all have our struggles, right? We all slip.
Yep.
Right? But we don't let that define us.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So you're native to Helena.
Yep.
Right? You grew up here, you were born here. Your addiction started here.
Mm-hmm.
Your drug of choice for the most part was opiates, is that right?
Pills. Yeah, so pills, man. I remember, I smoked weed and stuff, and that's really where it started. Is I was like 11, and some of the older neighbor kids were smoking weed, and I stole some weed from, an older family member and brought it to the older kids in the neighborhood and felt all cool, and we were smoking. So I pretty much got in there, but man, it must have been 7th or 8th grade that someone at school gave me some lower tabs. And I remember breaking my arm when I was little and having a lower tab. And that was like my correlation. I was like, oh, damn, I remember that. Those are good, And, but yeah, once I took that 7th or 8th grade, took that lower tab pill, it was like I felt that void that was just always lingering inside me was gone. I'm like, oh, that's it, dude. That's it. So
Even at that young of an age, huh?
yeah, absolutely. Because I always have felt that there was just something missing. There was, I know what it is now, but I wasn't raised with God. I wasn't, neither of my parents were religious. They weren't against it per se, but it definitely wasn't in the house. And I know now that's what the missing piece, the pit in my soul was. But the pills filled it for me at that point in time.
Absolutely. That's generally why we all start, right?
Yeah.
So for our viewers, that opioid addiction is a whole different beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is that a very unique fight?
Well, man, addiction is crazy, dude. It's absolutely crazy. Where it just kind of numbs. It's a numbing thing, so you can, no matter what's going on in life, it just kind of numbs it down, so you can just keep on going, keep on pushing. The problem is the physical addiction part of opiates. So even if you have a wild hair and you're feeling good and you're like, yeah, I'm done with this shit, um, yeah, they don't want you to be. So yeah, if anyone's ever gone through withdrawals, it's no joke. So it's no joke.
And that's what makes it so much harder to fight, right? It goes from just a mental battle to now you're physically fighting your body.
Yeah.
Right, for the craving.
Yep.
I personally never experienced that. And I know a lot of people that haven't.
Mm-hmm.
And that in and of itself is unique to your struggle, right? That shows a level of strength that most of us, even recovering addicts, can't really fathom. To take yourself through that level of detox.
Yeah.
Right. The only comparison is alcohol.
Yeah. So I've done that too. Yeah.
So you said your last stint in treatment. So you've been to treatment. You were in Nexus,
mm-hmm.
which is Montana's intensive inpatient meth
it's
treatment.
The premier.
Yep. It's a 9-month program. What worked in there, if anything? Because you had clean time 5 years after that, right?
No,
so
let's see. Nexus. When were we in Nexus? That was a long time. 2012.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what worked in Nexus? I mean, it was like a self-disgust program. So it really, really, really got you to think about the effect, the ripple effect you're having on those around you, which was an eye opener because for me at the time, I had no responsibilities. I had people that loved me, my parents and stuff, my friends, girlfriends, whatever. But I really didn't think about anyone other than myself. But you're there for 9 months. You write 10 books worth of stuff on your life. You just go through everything, and you pick out every last little thing that that's your fault. So it's like you take accountability. You feel that self-disgust for what you've done to other people, and then all 80 or 90 people in the program sit in a circle and tell you about it. So it can be harsh. We had a guy, Jesus, kill himself over that when we were there. He hung himself off his doorknob because he couldn't handle the depression from just being called out on all his stuff, and he killed himself. But I think there was good to it because without that at that time in my life, I still would have kept on going without really thinking about the cause and effect of what I was doing. So that was a good part to it. But I think it took it too far. Obviously, Jesus, I mean, it was selfish for him to do that. But I think it Nexus and a lot of the DOC programs in Montana, at least they used to, they kind of pushed the limit a little too much, and there wasn't much building you back up. It was just breaking you down, and then you get out. And at least for me, I just felt all that pain and misery, and I still didn't have like a positive route in which to go that worked for me. I had their little cookie cutter deal that my treatment plan, my post treatment plan that they wanted me to do. That I had some say in, but it was all the classes, the this, that, and the other thing from the DLC. But it wasn't something that I could really get with,
Well, so having gone through different treatments, right, and having gone through the system here, you can personally attest that there are some very broken things about it, right? Mm-hmm. And I personally feel that cookie cutter approach, like you put it, that recovery has to be just this, right? It has to follow A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or you're not in recovery.
Yeah.
I've always thought that was more detrimental than anything.
Absolutely.
As well as that whole idea of that they make you recite over and over and over again. Once an addict, always an addict. Once an addict, always an addict. No, because at some point we grow up and we move past that. We do recover. Mm-hmm. And someone in recovery is no longer an addict. And to continue to berate that into your brain,
Yeah.
it can be super detrimental to somebody's recovery. So what changed? What was the big aha moment?
So I'll tell you, I had this brother, Matt Hoffman, anyone who knows him, very near and dear to my heart. The Nexus is a long time ago. I lived a lot of life and made a lot of mistakes after that, gotten a lot more trouble. But this takes it all the way back to there. It's a good spot to kind of continue from. Matt Hoffman preaching the word of God to me the entire time. And I was so anti-God, like I would even go so far as I didn't believe in Jesus, so I couldn't say I hated him, but it just sounds so cringy for me to even think about right now, but I was so anti-Jesus, like upside down crosses, punk rock kid, pentagrams, like writing music that was just mocking Jesus, and because it was like I thought it was cool, and but yeah, Matt, God bless him. Even through all my disrespect, the entire time, just kept preaching the word of God to me without getting his feelings hurt about the crazy stuff I was saying. And just had tons of grace. And he planted a seed. I didn't go to one church session the whole time there or anything. I didn't pray at all. I didn't do anything like that. But he definitely planted a seed. And then later on, as I was digging myself another hole when I got out of there, I did eventually call on God. And so that's what really changed, is when I started seeking God, is when things started to change. And it took 6 years from the moment I gave my life to Christ. It took 6 years for me to kind of crawl out of the hole from there. So, I mean, yeah.
What made that decision for you? What was, right? When did you realize that had to be it? When was enough enough?
So I was traveling around. A lot of stuff has been happening. Friends dying, going to prison, just so much stuff. And I was capable of handling it all because it was just normal. So I was just indifferent to it all. So it didn't really matter to me if I didn't like being in jail or prison or whatever, but it wasn't like I cared too much. Because I really didn't care too much whether I was alive or dead. It just didn't matter. My good friend Chris Howe, rest in peace. We were traveling around Montana working for this company, Cleary Building Corporation, and we had a weekend off, and we were near Helena. Hadn't been back to Helena for a while, so we shoot over to Helena, go to the Rialto, and I run into an ex-girlfriend from high school, middle school and high school. We were together, and it just so happened that she was kind of getting out of something that she'd been in for a long time, and just trying to blow off some steam. And we ran back into each other, and that was that was kind of the little spark that started to change. And she got pregnant, and when I realized I was about to be a dad, like I started really contemplating life, like, oh, there is meaning. There is something more. Like, and I wanted more than anything not to be a deadbeat dad. Like I just, I know it's God now who is kind of pulling me up, but I just did not want to be a deadbeat dad. And she was a Christian, and she kind of led me in a couple prayers throughout some stuff, and that's really where it started, man. Was my relationship with my now wife Bethany, and the birth of my daughter Piper, and my relationship with Jesus Christ.
So I remember, right, a lot more of your story, right? Yeah. Some of the things that you talked about.
Yeah.
I very specifically remember, an album that you put out back in the day called Helltown Hopeless, right? And I don't remember all of it, right? But I remember some tracks, and I remember talking with you at Nexus about it as well, and just that like, Helltown Hopeless, just that despair, that deep, dark, bottomless pit that you were in,
nihilism,
right?
yeah,
completely cut off from the world, completely cut off from everything, and in the middle of an opioid addiction, right? Several years ago, you said what? 6 years since you gave your life to God.
Yeah, so
started to do the things. So now, from Helltown Hopeless, all those years ago, 15 years ago now, what it's got to have been or better.
Yeah, a long time.
To where are you now? Share with all of us your successes, brother.
Well, let's see. I mean, it's a struggle. It's still a struggle every day, and I was able to kind of stop all of the hard drugs and all the other stuff, and just start drinking again. And I held on to that for a long time, through it all. And I got in trouble, ankle monitor on, and it's what I needed, honestly. Just be like, okay, now you have nothing. Now you have to rely completely on Jesus. And from that, so I got another sentence and went to watch. Got out of watch. The whole time in watch, I was planning, okay, what are you going to do? You got to start a roofing company. You're done working for other people. So I just like, what's the easiest way to break into construction, like roofing, I guess. I never shingled a house, never did it. I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but I had never done it before. But I just decided, okay, I think all I need is a truck, a nail gun, and an air compressor, and I can start a roofing company. So I planned it out for 6 months and watched, got out, and just got to it, man. And it was really blessed from the start. I was able to work with the guy I was in watch with, who taught me a couple things, a few roofs here and there, and he kept me busy framing a house while I was kind of getting going. And then I started to get more phone calls. People were wanting roofs. Different companies were calling me and like what are your rates? Let's get some work. And so I told my buddy that I'm gonna go full time doing my own thing, and it's just been blessed, man. It's going on 5-6 years now of consistent work, and it's not like I'm rich, but we're out of a single one. So we used to, my wife and 6 kids. We have 6 kids now. I adopted 3 that have my last name, and there's 3 that are biologically mine. They're all my kids. Love them all the same. It's a beautiful thing. But one point in time, we were living in my old bedroom at my mom's house, my wife and all of us in that one bedroom, trying to make it work. Then to a single wide trailer, then to a double wide trailer, and then now we're in a nice 4-bedroom house with a big backyard. It's nothing crazy special, but I mean, it fits our family, and we pay the bills. And yeah, man, it's a grind, it's a struggle, but I'm able to be doing my own thing, and that's priceless to me. So
more importantly, man, you get to go home to your wife and kids every day.
Yep.
Right? With a clear head.
Yep.
And that's the point. To everybody watching this that's still stuck, right? From one of the deepest, darkest places you could ever be in the midst of an opioid addiction, being completely lost on the streets in Helena, to now owning his own construction company, a house, a family, right? It is possible, but it's only possible if we share our story, right? And
got to get up every day and do it.
And it's only